All right, welcome everybody. My name's Cody. I'll be your MC this evening. I'm a part of our Future Students team here at Uni SC. I'm actually based on our beautiful Sunshine Coast campus, but we'll talk about all the range of campuses and team members we have across them. Tonight, I'm joined by two of our current students, Zoe and Tristan, who are going to join us on the panelist discussion a little bit later on, and they'll be able to answer all your questions around study, university experiences, placement experiences, as well as any other generalized questions that you guys might want to have answered. So how the webinar is going to work this evening, I'm going to give you a little update about Uni SC, a couple of our courses, our locations, how you can study, what study can look like, including pathways to get into university, as well as the opportunity to answer all your questions throughout the presentation. So as you can see within the webinar, right at the bottom or the top of your screen, depending on what device you're on, there is a Q&A button. That Q&A button has an opportunity for you to type in whatever question that you may ask. We have our supporting team members, Alex, Peter, Sebastian, and Jody, who are all here to answer your questions throughout the presentation, but we'll also answer them live. So if you do have any dying questions along the way throughout the presentation, even what we're currently talking about, feel free to throw it straight into the Q&A, and our team will start answering those directly. Let's get started. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and live, and recognize the continuing connection to land, water, and community. We pay respect to elders past and present. So this is the best way to start off this evening. We just want to remind all of you that although university semester is coming up, honestly, in a couple of weeks, we just want to remind that you do have this. For a lot of our attendees tonight who may have already applied or looking at different pathways or wanting to do a bridging program, is that, there is so many different ways to get into university, and every course as well is so different. And we just want to remind you that we are here to help. We have team members online where you can book in, or you can come straight onto our campus and talk to our student services team. And our goal is to help you navigate those next couple of steps to get you enrolled, ready to go, as well as whilst you're in your study journey, to help you along the way to make sure that you can get to that finish line and have that dream career and that dream job. So a little bit about Uni SC. Some of you guys might know some of our bigger campuses, but we do have campuses all across the Southeast region. All the way up in Fraser Coast in Hervey Bay, we do have one of our smaller campuses that offers some unique courses such as nursing, social work, education, as well as TPP, our famous bridging program. Down a little bit further, we do have Gympie, specialized in nursing, especially in that area. There's a high demand for you to study that course and gain employment locally. And it means if you are from that footprint, you can study locally. You don't have to go to one of our other campuses that might be a little bit further away. You might know our two major campuses and our newest campus. We have Sunshine Coast, which is like what I'd like to call our full service campus. So we have a range of amazing facilities at Sunshine Coast for your study experience, but as well for your social experience as well. And then Moreton Bay, which is one of our growing fastest campuses, right near the North Brisbane footprint, and has an amazing amount of new courses as well as brand new facilities. Beautiful campus to study at. I spent a fair bit of time there myself, and really like the environment there in that North Brisbane, Moreton Bay footprint. We also have Caboolture, which fits right in the middle if you are passionate about courses around maybe a bridging program to get you into a range of our different degrees, or you're passionate about nursing, really great campus to study at and stay local as well. And last but not least, another location is actually online. You can study online for a few of our courses. If not, there is opportunities across a range of our different courses where you might be able to do a bit of a hybrid model, some subjects on campus or online. I do recommend, depending on the course you're looking at, to look into that, a part of the study program. You can see it all on our course webpage to have a full understanding of what that could look like for you. There are a lot of our courses, for example, nursing and maybe a lot of our education courses that require you to be on campus pretty much full time as a student, due to pretty much how the working environment is with those courses. So What do we teach? We have so many different degrees in so many different areas. Arts, international studies, business and commerce. I'm a previous business student. I have studied at university and studied a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing and digital media. We do have some other alumni here and current students like Alex studied events and tourism, as well as Tristan and Zoe, who are also here, who are current students, one in criminology and justice, as well as education. So we've got a pretty good remit here to help you navigate what those sort of course areas could look like. So in regards to what else we teach, anything from creative industries, design, education, from early childhood, primary and secondary, as well as a huge remit of health courses as well. Occupational therapy, midwifery, nursing, our brand new physio degree, exercise physiology. We are very passionate about health across all our campuses. So really great opportunity if you are also passionate about studying a course that really sets you up for employment straight afterwards. Now, in regards to looking at courses and how to prepare yourself for entry, make sure you're checking the campus offering, the ranking score you need, and we can talk about what those ranks could look like. The prerequisites, maybe some of our courses have like you need an English or a science. We do have some fantastic bridging programs that can get those prerequisites for you if you don't currently have that skill set. So now you know our locations, you know the courses, but what's university going to look like for you? What support services are really going to help you thrive? Because university isn't really typically a 1 year journey, it could be 2, 3, 4 years. And it's nice to know that there are support services there for you to get you to that finish line. We have a range of academic and study support, anything from referencing support, drafting support, which is really fantastic. This is all fee free. It's available online and on campus. My favorite one is our careers and employment team. Now, they're here to help you across parts of your journey. Maybe you're sitting here tonight going, I know I want to go to university and I do know I want to go into this industry, but what is actually the best course for me? What sort of insight can I gain from before I sign up to make sure that I am doing the right course that's going to get me that employment? You can actually jump on our website and work with our careers team, and they have a range of careers counselors that can actually give you a heap of tools and understanding of this actually might be the best fit for you. Now, that same team is available to help you when you're near the end of your degree. You know, where do I find the graduate employment jobs? How do I prepare myself to be the best best to interview and be an applicant for these sort of jobs? Where else can I look for job opportunities? This team is available to you to help you all different parts of your journey, which is fantastic. They're also a fee-free service. We have a health and well-being team, financial support and scholarships. I'm going to talk about scholarships in a little moment, as well as a heap of student groups and associations held by our guild. We have counseling, disability and equity, as well as student success team, which will check in with you and give you all a call as you get started at UniSC. So I just mentioned scholarships, and this is something that really excites me because scholarships, perceptually, people have an idea is that you have to be really smart to receive a scholarship. You know, they're the only ones who get all the money. And then what I'm going to tell you is that that's actually not true. There's so many different types of scholarships available to you, and we have 2 intake of scholarships per year. We give away about $4.3 million per year, and this does grow slightly depending on donorships and sponsorships from industry providers and people that we do work with across the sector. And the one thing I want to let you know is that there are so many different scholarships, from book bursaries, study bursaries. Maybe you're someone like women in STEM, or maybe you're passionate about the business industry and there might be a donor scholarship that's suitable for you. Jump onto our scholarships page. Like I said, we have 2 intakes of scholarships per year. It's a simple application and it'll automatically set you up for all the scholarships that you are available for. Really cool. Now, this is not just for new students. This is why you're a current student. I want to tell you a really fantastic story. I actually met one of our student ambassadors in the past who's now almost graduating. She got to her final year. She's studying social work and she had an 8-week placement coming up. Now, after not receiving scholarships for her first 2 years, she actually received a $5,000 bursary to help her on her regional placement experience, which was really cool. What it meant, that money came in just in time for her to use however she liked to improve her study experience while she was doing working placement in a regional location far away from home, because she really wanted to try that regional experience. And that was something that I thought was really cool. You know, she had tried and tried and tried, and she finally got $5,000. Now, best thing I can describe is, you know, for a 15-minute application, do it a couple of times. Even if you don't get it, or you do get it your first time, which is amazing, it is the best money you're ever going to get per hour of spending. So highly recommend jumping on that. So Pathways. How am I going to get into university? You're probably sitting here today. Maybe a lot of you guys have already applied and you're good to go, which is fantastic. But for some of you, it goes, okay, how do I get into my dream course? What is the best step forward? So there's some traditional pathways and there's some unique ones as well. So traditionally, ATAR, for a lot of our school leavers, if you did do ATAR, that's fantastic. You can use that score to apply for a range of our courses and you can see that score on our website. We have an early offer guarantee as well for our year 12 students. Now, if you're currently in year 11 or going into year 12 now and you're jumping on this presentation because you're very eager, keep an eye out for early offer guarantee. Work with your careers counselor in your schools. They'll be able to help you on that journey. Now, this is one of my favorite programs. It's called TPP or Tertiary Preparation Pathway. And we're going to jump into what that looks like. But essentially, this is a fee-free 6-month bridging program that you can study. It doesn't require you to have any prior skills or any prior experiences in terms of education. As long as you're an Australian domestic student, you can apply for this course and be 17 years old and older. Now, you can apply for this, and this is going to give you all the skills you need to get you ready to apply for a bachelor's degree. Fantastic course, doesn't cost you anything, really great way to have a taste test at university, as well as get some skills. You'll study a couple of subjects and be able to be like, yep, I'm ready to go into my next level of study. Now, if you've come in, we also teach diplomas. Now, if you're someone who goes, you know what, I don't want to sign up for a 3-year degree. I want to sign up to a 1-year course, get that skill set, enter the workforce, and I might use that again in the future to get into that next level of learning. So we have a range of diplomas available to you. Talk to our student team or jump on our website to see what those diplomas look like. Anything from business, health, as well as creative industries. Really great way to enter the workforce nice and quick. Selection rank. This is my favorite. This is the industry I work with. I work with a range of different colleges and partners across Southeast Queensland. And all those students who may have a Cert 3, a Cert 4, or a diploma have the opportunity to use those qualifications to gain direct entry into our university. So a Cert 3 gives you a ranking score of 68 or an ATAR of 68. You can use this to get into a range of courses that have a requirement to gain entry 68 or below. So for example, nursing, which is a 60 or a 65, is a fantastic opportunity with your Cert 3, if that's what you have, to apply for that course and get straight into it. Cert 4 has a ranking score of 74 and a diploma has a ranking score of 82 at our institution. You may be able to use your certificate 4 or your diploma to also receive credit into a course you are looking at studying. Now, for example, like a diploma of business, and you're looking to apply for the Bachelor of Business, you may receive a fair bit of credit because of your prior learning. Now, if you are wanting to learn more about credit, jump on our website, type in credit for prior learning or RPL, and start working with our student services team to understand what that could look like for you. We also have an Indigenous Access Scheme, as well as Access Uni SC scheme, which will help you with those sort of points and entry requirements. So TPP, or Tertiary Preparation Program. I know I talked about it already, but I want to jump into it a little bit deeper. This might be something that's really suitable for you. For example, if you have studied a Cert 3 and you may be able to get straight into your bachelor's degree, but you might be going, I don't know if I'm ready to study at university. I don't know if I've got experience in writing these types of assignments or anything. And maybe you're lacking in a little bit of confidence. You're like, is there a way for me to have a taste test of what uni could look like before I jumped in, even though technically I could just get straight into it? This is a great way to spend some time on upskilling yourself by a fantastic team of educators who will give you skills in academic writing, literacy and numeracy support, referencing support, how to navigate the Uni SC systems and processes, the online library. Really great program. It's fee-free. That's my favorite part. There is no financial burden. It's a really great way to try before you buy when it comes to university study, because it is a long-term commitment. We also have a proven track record that if you do complete a TPP program and you move on to your bachelor's level, you have a higher chance of completing your bachelor's degree, as well as receiving better marks than most of your cohort. So how it works, you enroll in up to 4 TPP units. It's super flexible. You can choose a flexible study plan. So you can either split it and do it part-time, or you can do it all full-time. You can do some subjects online and on campus. It really depends up to you where you're located and what you want your study experience to look like. Once you have completed the course, UniSC uses your grades to calculate a selection rank. For example, if you get 4 passes, it gives you around about a 72 to 74. That can get you into most courses at UniSC, which is pretty cool. If TPP is not what you're looking for and you're still unsure what university is going to be right for you or what that's going to look like, we have a fantastic program called UniSC Equip. So this offers a range of different workshops or individual phone consultations, and it will either help you start at university, but it also can help you start at TAFE or fit you into an environment that would be the best study option for you to meet your aspirations and goals or what your career could look like. So how it works. So we have workshops at our local library, on our campuses, online. In fact, in February alone, we have 15 different workshops running. And these workshops run over 3 different topics, from returning to study, exploring different careers, and upskilling yourself in study skills. Anything from study strategies, reading and referencing support, and writing and researching. And Alyssa, the leading team member on this program, is such a wealth of knowledge. She has a deep understanding, a range of different university programs, and not just UniSC, across all universities. And she'll be able to help navigate where the best step forward is for you. So really great way for you to work with someone and really step forward into what that study journey for you to end up in your dream career could look like. So we know about courses, we know about locations, we know about pathways, we know about all the different entry requirements. How am I going to apply? Now we are starting to move into the pointy end of applying, as university and orientation actually starts only 2 weeks away. So first you need to jump on our website and look at the course that suits you best. You'll see a little code on the corner of the screen, and you can use that code to jump straight onto our QTAC on the QTAC website and apply there. Now, make sure you know your entry requirements. Make sure you understand that, is there a requirement for me to have an English background or a science background? Now, if you are concerned about that or worried about your entry skills or anything you need to do to attach to your QTAC application, call our student services team. They're the most simplest number located on our website. I'll also show it at the end of the presentation. They're available Monday to Friday, all office hours, and they're there to support you on that application process and get you to that opportunity to apply and get accepted. So when you jump on the QTAC website, there's a few different ways to apply, but the best one is that typically you need to put in your 6 preferences. Now, for some of you guys, you might be, I want to study nursing, and that's exactly what I want to study. I don't want to study anything else. That's fantastic. In fact, I was one of those students. I wanted to study business. I wasn't open to study design or communications or something that fit that sort of remit. I just wanted to study business. So that's fantastic. I put in business as my first preference. And for some people, they might just put that application in with just the one preference. What I would like to provide as advice is that instead of just putting your first preference in and that's all you put in a pathway program into that first preference. Because how it works with QTAC, it starts off as your number 1 preference. Great. If you get accepted, you're in, you get your first preference, you enroll in your subjects, you're good to go. But if you don't, it drops down to your second preference and sees if you're suitable to meet your second preference entry requirements. So if you're passionate about nursing and that's exactly what you want to do, but maybe you're unsure about your score and if you're going to meet the requirements to get into it, put in TPP as your second preference. If you put in the bridging program as your second preference, no matter what, you're going to either get into your dream course or a pathway into your dream course. Now, there are many courses as well that have fantastic bridging pathway programs or diplomas that also just make up your first year of study. Now, if you are interested in a certain course and don't know what to put as your second preference to make sure no matter what, you will receive an offer into your dream course or a pathway into your dream course, call our student services team. They'll be able to go through that with you so you can make sure you put your best application forward. Now, you could put in all 6 preferences. Some people just go, I want to work in the health industry. I'm going to put in physiotherapy, exercise physiology, nursing, occupational therapy, and you're hoping just to get one of those, and then you'll explore it once you're in university. That is also fine. And there's so many, like I said, there's so many different ways to apply, but just remember, your first preference is your priority number 1 dream course. So when do I need to apply? I highly recommend apply sooner rather than later. And the best reason why to describe it is that the sooner you apply, the sooner you can move into making up your timetable for your classes. Now, as soon as you get in, there is actually a lot more time slots available for that same subject. The closer we get to the start of semester, those class timetables start filling up. So you actually have a lot less options to pick the schedule that suits you best. So I highly recommend get in so you get the best opportunity to pick a schedule that suits you and your university experience and your work life and your home life and your family life commitments. So our last offer round is on the 21st of February. The last time you can actually apply is probably around the 16th of Feb on the Sunday. What it means, it'll take you about 5 days to get a response back, but that means you've also missed orientation. So, like I said, jump in sooner rather than later, get your application in, make sure you get everything lined up so you can actually attend orientation, because orientation is a huge amount of help. Now, and I would like to mention, our week 1 classes are on the 24th of February. So coming up in just 3 weeks' time. So everything is starting to ramp up. But like I said, we are here to help you get to that journey and get to that milestone so you can start your course. Now we're finally up to my favorite part of the evening. I'm going to have Zoe and Tristan join me, and we're going to move into more of a panel discussion. Now, hopefully our amazing team's been answering your questions from what I can see, but we're going to also ask a couple of questions live. So if you have any dying questions for our current students or our team, or want us to discuss something, maybe around placements or experiences or uni life or the challenges of balancing it all, feel free to start chucking it in the Q&A, and we'll start answering those now. First of all, I'm going to get both our students to introduce themselves, what course they're studying, and I guess what year they're up to in their study. I'll start off with you, Zoe.
Hi everyone. So yeah, my name's Zoe. I'm in my 4th year of the Bachelor of Primary Education. I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, absolutely loving it. Studying at the Sunshine Coast CB Downs campus.
Easy. Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. My name's Tristan. I'm a 3rd year Bachelor of Criminology and Justice student. I'm also based at the CP Downs campus on the Sunshine Coast, and I've really enjoyed my degree so far going into my 3rd year and really looking forward to getting into some pretty cool areas of study.
That's really cool. Okay, I guess the next question is, how did you gain entry into university? And did you have to relocate, or are you guys both actually local from the footprint? I'll start with you,
Um,
Zoe. Yep.
yeah, I'll go first. So I started university straight out of high school, but I didn't do a traditional pathway like the ATAR OP pathway because I didn't really have any intention to go to uni. I actually didn't like high school at all. And then I decided very last minute that I wanted to do teaching and just give it a go and see if I liked it or not. And I said to my guidance officer, like, what are my pathways? She said, oh, you can use your certificate 3 in business admin, which was totally random. I used that to get my selection rank into primary education. And then I just had to do the TPP program to meet the prerequisites, like Cody was discussing earlier. So I did English and biology, which were requirements at the time. And then that got me the prerequisites to get into the program. And then, yeah, I've just been studying ever since. And no, I'm not from the Sunshine Coast. I actually moved from Kalula Cove, which is a couple hours north from where we are near Rainbow Beach. And I was very fortunate to move in with my family. So that was really lucky.
Cool. Tristan.
Yeah, so my entry process into the University of the Sunshine Coast, I began in year 11 doing a Head Start program. So I went through the end of year 11 and start of year 12 doing 2 Head Start programs in the criminology area. And that really set my decision on going to UniSC and doing the Bachelor of Criminology and Justice degree. So I decided to fill out an early offer guarantee and was fortunate enough to have my spot locked in before my first mock exam in year 12. So it took away a lot of that pressure. And from there, I went straight into university the year after finishing high school. And I've really enjoyed that transition. And I remember it being really smooth going from year 12 into university life. And originally, I'm from Far North Queensland, but relocated to the Sunshine Coast for high school and was lucky enough to be able to study here on the Sunshine Coast at the University of the Sunshine Coast.
That's awesome. I'm a fellow North Queenslander myself, and did a relocation down south, and it's been a really good move. And do feel sorry for a lot of my family and stuff who were impacted by the floods up in North Queensland, which I'm sure Tristan, you would know a lot of people in Tully in that footprint area as well. All right, awesome. So obviously you've had a bit of a journey. You found a unique way to get into university. I guess it comes down to really what those experiences have looked like since you've started. Now, Tristan, I think you said you're almost up to your last year, or you are in your last year, and Zoe's coming to the finish line as well. You're a little bit more to go. Have you guys had any placements or work experiences that kind of navigated what you want to do afterwards? And Tristan, I'll go over to you first this time.
Yeah, so being in my 3rd year of university, the options for placements through elective courses have become an option for me. So in the later half of this year, I will be completing a placement. So I'm going through the process of the application and interviews for that over the next few weeks, which is a really exciting time. Potential options for me being that criminology space. I've been looking at options potentially with Queensland Police, with corrections, also looking at options to be working in the prisons as well for my placement. So lots of really good different options in a variety of different fields. So definitely looking forward to wherever I end up, getting to learn off people who have been in that field that I'll be looking to get into in a few years.
Yeah, that sounds like some like real world experience. Like I can't say I've ever been to a prison myself before, but obviously going there for work experience and direct correlation to obviously a lot of maybe the theory that you've been learning would be a really interesting space, including the type of people that you'd meet who work in those sort of professions and what their careers look like. Zoe, what's your placement experience looked like so far? And a really good question within this is, when did you do your first placement, a part of your study journey?
Yeah, so one of the things I really love about UniSC and the education programs we offer is that you get placement from your first year, first semester. So it's really great. You get a feel for what you're getting yourself into before you commit to anything longer term. So from the first year, first semester, 10 weeks in, you're going on your first placement. It's 2 weeks in a school, mostly observation, but it's a really good opportunity to see what the real world industry is like, rather than just learning as you go and then not finding out until your 4th year after you've been studying for so long. So then we do placements in 4-week blocks every year after that. So it's really nice. I've only got one 4-week block to go this year, and you get more responsibility each time. So you're not just running the classroom from the day dot. They're really supportive through that, and our placements are all organised for us, so we can go in state schools, private schools, and our placement team are amazing, and they locate you somewhere within like a 50-kilometre radius from your house. You don't even have to go and look for anywhere that's going to take you on. So they really support you through the whole thing, which is fantastic.
And so before jumping over to Tristan, just because like I love education and social work and nursing placement, because you have the opportunity to work locally, but there are opportunities for you to apply to work like remote or regional. And I have some friends in nursing who, when they did remote and regional, they actually really enjoyed it because they had a lot more responsibilities, because there's a lot less support in those sort of working environments, especially in remote areas. Like everyone's juggling multiple roles, especially in the health sector. Have you had any experience going remote, or have any friends who went remote and had a really unique experience or anything like that in education?
Yeah. I'm actually looking at doing one of my, like the final placement. I'm hoping to do it rural or remote out in central Queensland. But I've got lots of friends that did their 3rd placement. So last year they went on placement out to Emerald, a few of them, and they absolutely loved it. Again, the placement office was so supportive. They had a lot more responsibility. They got to meet all the people in the communities and other beginning teachers. And now they're actually, a few of them have been offered jobs out there on our like permission to teach program. So they're already out there working full time in the field, making money, which is awesome. And then they only had that opportunity through the programs that our universities offer. So it's a really great way to get a sense of what you want to do in the industry, and then make those connections early on as well.
Amazing. That's really cool. I was wondering how it kind of fits and what it looks like, and it is at least you've got the choice. Some people especially maybe if they're a mature age student, they might have a family and they're juggling changing careers and studying education, and there is an element of placement commitments and going, how am I going to make this all work? Knowing that they could get a placement within their footprint and manage their family life, work life, as well as study life seems like a really good fit and has that flexibility that they need to get to that finish line. And Tristan, you are definitely coming close to your, I guess, your finishing journey. So you're coming up to placement experiences. Is there something that you're really wanting to dive into that's going to make you understand what you want to do next?
Yeah, I guess that's where the placement opportunity comes into getting to see where I could be going next. Obviously, I've got goals and aims of where I'd like to be ending up after my degree. So hopefully I'll be able to end up somewhere in placement in an area that's going to be somewhere I can see myself working over the next few years. But even if I end up in an area that I might not have had as my number one preference, being able to see what that type of field involves could also open a new window and opportunity as well. And getting to speak and make those connections with people working in the field, whether it be in an area that I might have lots of interest in, or maybe one that I haven't put a lot of thought into. It'd be really good to see what their background was like, how they came through into this position, and also what their plan is moving forward as well. So getting to make those connections in lots of different fields will be a really rewarding experience, I think, regardless of which area I end up in my placement.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That exposure, and Zoe brought up before, jumping into those placements early and working out what you do like or don't like really helps you go, all right, I know where I want to go from here. Because when you typically don't like something, you're working with those people, you're asking them questions, what's their work career look like to get to that point, and you might find interesting points of their work experiences and everything as well. So that's a really good point. I know, like being a business student, we were able to do quite a large internship experience, which counted for a couple of subjects. And what that meant for me, someone who didn't really love being in the classroom setting, wanted to be in that workplace, in that physical environment and business, like instead of sitting there and doing an assignment, which you still have to do for your placement experiences and write out your experience and what it's looked like, being in that work environment and doing that hands-on learning, I found really exciting. So I guess from here, um, talking about getting to the finish line, what's your dream graduate job going to look like? Where's your goal to go from here? And Zoe, I'll go to you first. Obviously, you've relocated to the Sunshine Coast and probably you've enjoyed that experience so far. Is your goal to try and get a job locally? Are you wanting to relocate again and do something a bit different? What does that look like for you?
That's such a good question. Everyone's asking me that at the moment because I'm in my fourth year. But honestly, the opportunities are endless. Like, I'm just happy to be a teacher wherever. I'm thinking, like I said, going out and doing my rural remote service first, just to like give back to those local communities, do a bit of traveling while I'm there. There's a lot of like scholarships and government grants and subsidized housing and things like that. So lots of incentives around education at the moment, especially in those rural and remote communities. So I'm hoping to go and have a look out there on my last placement, and then hopefully I'll love it so much that I want to stay. So that's probably the plan for me. Not sure what comes after that, but that's
That's
the
cool,
plan for
being
now.
open. Yeah,
Yeah,
taking the risk, trying something new, meet some new people. I guess
that's
placements
it.
kind of give you that experience and that exposure to going to different environments and being comfortable with that, which is pretty cool. And what about you, Tristan?
Yeah.
What does your dream grad area look like? I know we've talked in the past couple of times around border security or working in that sort of border control area.
Yeah, so I think the big attraction to my degree where it could take me is that there's so many different fields I could end up in. That was a big attraction towards this degree for me when I initially started, was the ability to have a wide range of different jobs across Queensland, Australia, and even internationally overseas as well. At the moment, sort of where I'd like to be ending up could be something in that policing field or maybe something to do with government and intelligence gathering. Those are all some of the really key areas that I've been interested in and found a lot about through my degree. So through classes that I've done over my first, second, and going into my third year, I've learned a lot about those areas. So those sort of areas would be the main ones that I'd like to move forward into. Applications for those jobs can start at any sort of time during this year or maybe even next year moving on. So definitely some of those areas would be of interest to me, but probably the main goal might be at the moment could be something in Queensland Police with incentives there surrounding all of the different sort of opportunities you get for going regional or remote, but also the incentives to join and those benefits in the long run as well.
Yeah, I had a friend who just joined QPS and went up to Mount Isa for regional, and he's on boats, he's on motorbikes, he's driving four-wheel drives across the desert. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a very normal day-to-day job, especially up there in Croc country. It's pretty interesting. Seems like a lot of fun and really great exposure, especially while he's young in the workforce in that sort of industry. So that's all really cool. All right, I'm going to throw it to the audience now. We've got heaps of questions coming through. I know our student support team are jumping in and answering a lot of those individual questions, but there's some key ones about really focusing on that student experience. What does a day in a life look like for a student? And a key one here was, do we need to attend class every single day? Is there some kind of attendance requirement? Is there flexibility? What does that look like? Tristan, would you be able to tell us maybe your experience of how many days you go to uni? What happens when you miss a class? How do you catch up? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so for me, I've been studying full time my whole time at uni. So that's been 4 subjects a semester for me. So my typical sort of uni week, I'm on campus 2 days a week for classes. So very different to my experience when I was at high school. For my 2 days a week, I'm on campus for 4 hours a day. So 8 hours a week in total of actual contact time at university. Usually my class times will sort of range from 10 till 12 till 12 till 2, maybe some later ones even, so 2 till 4 or even 4 till 6. I do most of my classes on campus, so at the Sippy Downs campus, but I've also got that option to go online as well and be able to work through those at my own time as well. What I've really enjoyed about the structure of the classing has been that a lot of it's blended learning. So I'll do a lot of my learning prior to going to class. So for me, that might look like doing an hour's worth of online lectures before I get to my tutorial on 10 till 12 on a Tuesday, for example. So that's sort of really worked for me in the sense that I can get that online work done when I'm at home and I've got the time to do that. And when I get to uni, I'm ready to go through and actually do that work that I did online and implement it into the class. In terms of attendance for classes, most of my classes have a mandatory attendance. The structure of those classes can range from classes every fortnight, maybe classes once a month once you get into those later sort of classes in your third and fourth years. But for me, to start off my degree, I was pretty much at class 2 days a week for all the 13 weeks of semester. So gave me a really good structure. If I did ever miss a class, but I was unwell or just wasn't able to make it, then I'm able to go about emailing the tutor. I'd have a connection with the tutor, email them. They can update me on any things I've missed, but all of your PowerPoint resources are there as well. Or worst case, you can join an online Zoom and do that class for that week online if that suits your schedule better as well.
Okay, cool. So good to know. So, and I'm sure this is not all the time. It's just available if that class is available online as well as an on-campus subject that you can jump on sometimes to the online classes tutorial session. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So, for example, if I wasn't able to get to my Wednesday afternoon class, then I could go ahead and join the Zoom meeting. Maybe it was on a Thursday morning, and that time might work better for me. So, you could go about emailing the tutor, just let them know that you missed that in-person class on the Wednesday afternoon, and you'll be joining the Thursday Zoom one in the morning. And they'll usually have no problems with that. You'll be able to join in and get the same experience. It'll just be online instead of being on campus.
That's great. That's awesome because we completely understand, and you guys would have part-time jobs and family and commitments, and wellness, and a lot of life can happen. And to know that you can catch up when those opportunities arise is really important. So that's what a life looks like, maybe in law, criminology, justice sort of subjects. Zoe, what's your experience look like? How many days are you on campus? You have a 4-year degree, so it's a bit of a long slog. What does a week look like for you in terms of how many days you're on campus? Are you fitting in anything else during your week, like a part-time job or anything whilst you're studying?
Yeah, so it varies semester to semester. I've done semesters where I've tried to get all my classes in on one day, which was not the study method for me. I burnt out very quickly and my brain was fried after 8 hours of 4 back-to-back classes. But now I've found my sweet spot. I like to try and do it over 2 days. So I'll do 2 classes back to back, usually about 10 to 2, and then 10 to 2 the day after. And then I try to work where I can just to save for placements and things like that. So working in vacation care and in here as well. So trying to get that experience working with children before I start my job. But then I still have plenty of time to work on my assessments, go do my hobbies, catch up with friends, things like that. So it's pretty good not having to go every day, all day, like at school. That's for sure.
Yeah, completely agree. And it's a lot of information, and then doing an assignment after. I was in a scenario where I was working quite a lot and only had a couple of certain days available. And I was very lucky enough where in a business degree, you got a bit of availability of that subject, kind of like Tristan's course, where you could study it on campus or you could choose to study it online. So I made a lot of my decisions on that flexibility of, okay, Monday, Tuesdays, I have off work. So I'll always choose to be an on-campus student because I feel like you have a really great experience connecting with other students and the academics face to face and being in that true classroom setting. And then those subjects, maybe they're not only available on Thursdays or Fridays in face to face, but they are available online. I actually chose to do a bit of a mixed mode to complete my subjects, where I chose 2 subjects on campus and 2 subjects online, and then I'd do my assignments on the weekend. And that worked really well to me because I had that flexibility. And I know even if you have a face-to-face course, there are some courses where that you might have a certain unit that is available face-to-face or online, and you could opt to choose that based on what your requirements are. There are certain courses that, you know, are 100% face-to-face, but to know that there are a little bit of flexibility, especially around those like sort of health units that do have capacity to be online, to know that you can have that flexibility is really important, just to make sure you can get to that finish line. So I guess that's been the experience so far, and you guys have been juggling in different courses and trying to make it all work. Um, another thing is, outside of study, is what has uni life look like for you? We've talked about the courses and we talked about the day in, the commitments, but a lot of people go to uni for more than just the traditional course setting. Some people want to go there for the social life aspect and community and connection. Zoe, is there any examples that you've connected with clubs or sports or societies, or attended any unique events that have been a really good experience for you?
Yeah, that's a good one. There's definitely lots of events that like the university hosts, especially one of the big ones being orientation week. It's such a great way to go and meet new people. And I remember when I first started my degree, it was such a great way to meet people that were in my degree because I was new to the area, and then I could make new friends and then catch up with them at coffee and things like that. So that was always nice. The gym and like the pool on campus is also such a good way to like keep your social life bubbling up, which is good. A lot of people like use the gym, and I did before I moved away, so like moved further away from campus, and it's super cheap as well to go there. You get a discount as a student. So that's a good way that I like to keep my mind and body busy.
Yeah, cool. And what about Tristan? Have you been able to associate on campus?
Yeah, so obviously within my degree, doing classes is a good way to meet people from your degree, but found a really good way to meet people outside of just your criminology degree. Has been the social sports that are available on campus. So I've really enjoyed getting to do those social sports. So for me, that's looked like things like social AFL, so AFL nines, social futsal, social basketball and volleyball. Those have all been really good ways just to get active after class, get out the classroom and meet some new people from different degrees. I've met people from paramedicine degrees, engineering degrees, all sorts of areas, just playing those social sports. And that could be an hour on a Thursday afternoon, just getting over to the arena and meeting some new people, getting to play sport and be active has been a really great way to meet people from outside of just my degree as well. There's also student clubs, which are a great way to meet people within your degree. So I know for me, there's a criminology student club. That's a great way to meet people from first, second, third year, even people who might be doing honours or study further after their bachelor's degrees as well.
That's really cool. You guys, we've only got about 5 to 10 more minutes on Q&A. So if you do have any dire questions, please throw them in. We'll either answer them live, or our team will be getting back to you as soon as possible. A key one that I think I'll jump in and answer is, I'm currently working in the nursing industry and want to study the bachelor's of nursing. And we see in the education sector quite a lot, where there might be a teacher aide, or they've worked in a support role within a school for quite a long time, and they want to enter into that next level of learning, and wanting to understand, do they have to do all the placement requirements, or receive, is there ways for them to receive credit? And honestly, it's a great way where you have that industry perspective, where you know exactly what you want to do. You've experienced it, you see it all the time, and you want to do that role. And I'm going to use nursing as the example. You know, maybe you've done the Cert 3 in allied health assistance, and you work in a hospital setting or an aged care setting, and you've worked maybe for 10 years and have a wealth of experience. When it comes to that bachelor level of learning and that placement requirement, now, for example, the Bachelor of Nursing has 800 hours of placement. It is a requirement for you to complete those 800 hours under a supervisor. And although you have that wealth of experience and probably more skilled than most other people studying that bachelor's level course, it is still a requirement under a supervisor that we understand that you can do all those competencies, because you will gain more skills through those placement experiences that maybe you weren't able to do in an AIM position. But we understand that you probably have had the chance to do, once again, a lot of those other secondary tasks in a daily aspect anyway. But unfortunately, it is something that is a major commitment. It's the reason you do get signed off to be qualified as a registered nurse. And that is the same in the education degree. There's roughly around 80 days of placement altogether, 80 working days. And it does require you, although you may have worked in schools for quite a while, you still need to complete those 80 days. Now, you may want to apply for credit, maybe off one of the other units or courses available, but you still have to complete that placement experience. It's very rare where you can receive what we call RPL, recognition of prior learning, off that experience component of that degree, as that is us really wanting to understand that you do have that supervisor sign off of that experience and you're good to go in the workforce. Okay, any more questions coming through? I guess my last question to Tristan and Zoe before I pull out another one is, if you had one piece of advice that you were going to pass on to a brand new student, and for you guys, you go out to schools and everything all the time, so you have a lot of students asking questions about what university is like. What is one piece of advice that you would pass on to a new student who's about to start quite a new journey for themselves? Is there anything you could say that would help them understand like what it's going to be like, or to help them understand university? Tristan, I might start off with you, mate.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece of advice that I would have probably liked to have heard before I started university would be the amount of support services that are available to you. At university, you've really got to make the most of them. So for me, before starting university, my referencing academic skills really weren't probably up to scratch, and it was something that I was a little bit unsure about getting into university. So for me, actually reaching out to the study team and getting help from a learning advisor was actually a really good and rewarding process, in the fact that it helped me be able to learn how to reference properly at university, how to go through and structure my assignment to the right referencing format. The PDF guide that I got given in that 30-minute Zoom meeting in my second week of university, I still use today in my third year criminology assignments. So all of that has still transferred through. So that's probably my biggest piece of advice, is definitely just reach out to all the different support services that are available at university. Even something as small as not knowing how to reference can be fixed pretty easily with the support service. And there's a heap of people that are there ready to help you, so you can get the most of your experience at UniSC.
Awesome. And Zoe?
I'm gonna kick Tristan later off for stealing the one that I was gonna say, because that was my piece of advice too, was to access the support services, because they're just so incredible. But I guess I've been put on the spot now. I think probably attending class. It sounds like such a small one, and I know like when I first left high school, I was like, oh great, I only have to go 8 hours a week. I'm just gonna go, like no one is forcing me, they're not gonna mark the roll, it doesn't matter. And then I actually really struggled in my first year by not going to class, because they go over all of those like tips and tricks on how to make your assessment better. You get to have those discussions with people that you don't get to have if you only do the online content, or like the online modules, I should say. So that really helped me so much. And then actually getting to know my teachers and other people in my classes to do those group assignments, rather than just trying to do it all over email or like Facebook Messenger chat and things like that. It just helped me understand the content so much more, and I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, I would recommend go to class, even if you have to do an 8 a.m. Get out of bed, go for a walk, go to class, because it's just so worth it. And you're paying like the fees anyway, so you might as well get what you're paying for, I always say.
Yeah, you know what, Zoe, if I was going to say my piece of advice, it sounds like I had a similar university experience to you, where my first semester I had a bit going on, and it was a bit of change of life, and I was sacrificing. I guess I came from working from full time to kind of dropping my workload, and when you get accustomed to earning full time income, it's hard to drop back. And I'm sure a lot of people attending here would feel the same. Maybe they're changing their career path and changing from full-time work to part-time work to get this degree done to enter a workforce they're passionate about. And I learned very much the hard way in my first semester by missing certain face-to-face classes, but catching up online, but not, I guess, using the full amount of resources available to me. And after my first semester, my number one rule to myself for the rest of my degree was, If I miss my lecture, I can always watch it at a more suitable time that I'm more motivated to take in that content. So our lecture setting is kind of where, like a podcast, like you're taking in information, you might take some notes and record it, but you're not really asking questions in that setting. But my number one rule was I will rock up to every tutorial class or classroom setting that is available to me because of all the extra conversations that happen in that classroom setting. Sometimes if I've done the tutorial first and missed the lecture, and then I watch the lecture later on, a lot of it is like, oh, I actually know more information from this tutorial class that has actually supported my understanding in the lecture, where typically you're supposed to do the lecture first and then do the tutorial after. So I completely agree. Go to class. If you're registered to a face-to-face class or even an online class, that online collaborate sort of session, attend and make your number one rule to yourself is no matter what, I won't miss that class. And if I miss the lecture time, I will catch up onto it at a time that suits me where I can really break it down and take in that content. But that online collaborate or that face-to-face class, attend it. It will make your life so much easier and your uni experience so much better.
Yeah.
Now
Oh,
sorry,
you
go
go.
on, Zoe.
No, I was gonna say, even just like picking class times that work for you. Like I was like, I'm gonna go 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I'm not a morning person, so I don't know why I picked those classes, and I just would never go. So like picking classes that actually do work with your schedule and your learning style as well. Like if I found 2 to 4 p.m. or even like 6 to 8 p.m. after work worked so much better for me than committing to 8 a.m. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I am definitely a morning person. Everyone's different. Uni is pretty good for that. There are different timetables for morning and afternoons, which is pretty good, especially in your first year of uni where there's a lot more subject availability. So that's a really good point. Okay, so that's pretty much everything from us. I'm going to move on to, I guess, wrapping up this presentation. I just want to say thank you so much for Zoe and Tristan for joining us this evening. If you guys do have more questions for these ambassadors or for our team, keep putting them in the Q&A box. Our future student support team will keep on answering those questions live for you to make sure that you're going away tonight knowing I know exactly what I need to do next. So why UniSC? For overall, our passion is offering a 5-star student experience, and we've been awarded with that for the last 13 years in a row. We have a truly modern approach to teaching, especially some of our beautiful campuses that we're upgrading facilities all the time. For example, Moreton Bay, I'd like to call a smart campus with its integration of technology and its brand new facilities, offers that really unique hands-on learning, especially if you're passionate about IT or going down that sort of industry in that area. We have a big passion around focus on employability. As you've been aware, we're talking about more of our regional campuses. A lot of their courses are designed for you to gain employment locally, especially if you're from that footprint. And it's something I think that's really relatable to its community and reflects its obviously the opportunities that are available there. We have a high performance culture, and we are very passionate about sustainability, the way we teach, the way we approach our learning, and the ethics and the models we teach within our courses as well around sustainability. So want to explore your options further from today. And if we haven't been able to answer all your questions, or you go, you know what, I need a little bit more help, there are ways for you to work with us to be able to understand, yes, I'm making the right decision, or I need a little bit more help on what my study journey is going to look like. And there's a few different ways. My favorite one is talking to a study advisor. We can discuss your unique circumstances and provide a pathway that supports your goals. That exact same service, you can book in a campus tour. If you jump straight on our landing page on our website, on our home screen, you'll see a big tab that says book a campus tour or book a one-on-one with a study advisor. Press that tab. There's a whole heap of different time slots available to you, and our student services team will be able to work with you. Now, that exact same team who have a wealth of knowledge across all our courses, including pathway entries and how to do a QTAC app, is our Student Central team. And the email address and the number is available to you on the screen now. You can contact them anytime. It's also available on our website. Feel free to send them an email or call them anytime, Monday to Friday, and they'll be able to help you on those next step of the journey. Thank you for joining us. Although we're going to kind of switch off, we're going to leave the online info session running for a little bit, just so we can answer any leftover questions. And we look forward to seeing you all on UniSC campus. Just a reminder that applications close on February the 16th for QTAC apps, with the final offers going out on the 21st. Now, just remember, orientation is on the 17th. So I do recommend, don't wait until the final closing date. Get in now so you get more choice when it comes to choosing your first year subjects and jumping into orientation and meeting a whole bunch of other university students and getting the support you need to get started at UniSC. Thanks, Tristan. Thanks, Zoe. We're all going to log off now and look forward to seeing you on campus. Thanks, guys.